All right, merengue. We're going to talk about just some fundamentals of merengue here. We have a lot of basic actions in the middle of all these different patterns, and the merengue basic, really, we're trying to encourage you to use your creativity and kind of go with your feelings. So the merengue basic is really just a march. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the merengue basic, and we're going to do this, I guess, back to the camera here. I, as the lead, I'm going to start with my left foot. Follow's going to start with our right foot, and we're simply going to do 8 counts of march. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The important thing here is that as the lead, I'm always starting on my left. And as a follow, she's always starting on her right, no matter what. Everything is always done that way. So just keep saying to yourself as a lead, left, 2, 3, 4, left, 6, 7, 8, and as a follow, right.
2, 3, 4, and right, 6, 7, 8.
That's really the important thing, is getting on the right foot at all times. Now, that's the time step, or the merengue basic in place, meaning we're just stepping together with every step. But we can also move to the side. So, for example, actually, and I'm just going to take Lorena in position for this one. We're going to take a side merengue basic to my left, her right. So she'll go right foot to the side, or the left foot to the side. We'll go side, together, side, together, side, together, side, together for 8 counts. And then we can also do a merengue basic that goes forward or back. So we can take little walks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, forward. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, back. And kind of in any direction you want to turn as well. So I can take my merengue basic in place, turning to the right, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or to the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as well as the side chassés. They can turn. And the forward and back basics can turn one way or another. So feel free, when we say merengue basic, to do any version of the basic, turning to the right, turning to the left, forward, back, left, right, or in place. They're all fair to use. Okay? Now, we're going to do a step called the separation. That's going to be your first pattern. And in a separation, all we're doing is walking away from each other. So instead of moving in tandem in the same direction, forward or back, right, we're going to move in opposite directions, both going backwards. In order to do that, I've got to lead her by lowering the hands and applying slight forward pressure. Follows, you also have to apply that forward pressure. You're just going to get your arm shoved back. So both of us are applying forward pressure. Now I can tell her to go away from me as I go away from her. When we do a separation, we're going to do probably 3 tiny back walks and 1 step together. Back, 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 together. Notice how small our steps were, and still we're almost out of room. So if you want to keep that handhold, you got to take pretty small steps. 1, 2, 3, together. Now we're going to walk forward for the 5, 6, 7, 8, and rejoin 6, 7, 8. Back into dance position again. Very popular styling for that. 1, 2, 3, 4 is to bring the hands sort of together and up past our faces. 6, 7, taking them out to the sides. 8, and then resuming closed position after that. So that looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Let's show from this direction.
1, 2, 3, 4 hands up. 5 out, 6, 7, and resuming closed position. 8. Another very popular way to do it is to actually separate completely. So I'm going to put pressure into that connection and release her completely. Then we'll take slightly bigger steps. Not huge steps. The goal is not to get to the opposite sides of the room. It's just to come apart. So we're walking back 1, 2, 3, 4, and then she can walk again towards me 5, 6, 7, 8, taking a visual lead there. So that's our separation.
As you're separating, like girls, if you would like, you can, as you walk back to your partner, you can swish your skirts, right? You keep your hands on your hips. You can do whatever little girly thing that you would like. It's the time. As soon as your partner's released, it's like, well, now you've got 2 hands to dance with, so you can, you know, do as you wish with them.
It's also very popular for the follows, the girls to step a little, take little tiny steps across as they come back together again. It's very common.
Don't overcross. It starts to get a little crazy looking, right? If we're, right, it's a bit much. So maybe kind of 1 foot in front of the other, right? Like you're walking this little tightrope. Yeah, and then you have a little swivel into it.
So that would give us 1, 2, 3, 4. And she swivels, she can grab her skirt around 6, 7, 8. And boys, if you want to leave your arms apart, you can, or you can put one hand behind your back and just extend this arm to take her into position again. All right, moving on to the next step, we've got underarm turns to right and left. So we're going to just continue our marking time, right? And I'm going to lead her to circle around to the right under the raised left hand to right hand hold. And then for the next 8, I'm going to lead her to turn to her left for 8 counts under a raised left hand to right hand hold. So we have to make sure we're marking time. The way that the follow can mark the time is she can either take steps together or she can take little forward walks. Depends on how big this circle is that I lead. So I'm just going to be marking time on the spot, or maybe moving slightly rightward to help her out with her turn. So I'm stepping 1, 2, 3, 4, and she's going around 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing with the left turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just a note on the hands, when I want to lead a right turn, right, we're going to release the finger hold, because if we try and keep the fingers clasped, we get a very awkward arm position by the end. We have to let the hand sort of pivot and swivel around inside the handhold. So what we're going to do is release the fingertips, right? And we're going to take the released hand, and I'm just going to cup my hand, make the letter C, right? Like a little Lego hand. She's going to leave her fingertips basically up, and she's going to swivel around inside that hand. So we're going to keep letting it pivot around so that it can resume the position it started with.
Very important, I keep my palm facing away from me the entire time. So, very common mistake is to keep my palm to my partner and all of a sudden my hand is somewhere behind me. I need to keep my hand in front of me. My hand will rotate inside of my partner's hand, and this is what's going to tell me where to go. So my partner can decide how quickly they want the turn to go, but I need to keep that palm facing forward. If I release that position, then I have no idea what he wants from me.
Leaders, that means a very big circle, right? You have to get to the other side of her head. See that? We can stop right there. My hand is over her head. Her hand is not over her head, yeah? My hand. So I've got to create a big enough circle that she can keep her hand right there. For the left turn, it's a little different. I'm going to take my hand here, unclasp it, and point my fingertips inward towards her, and then she's going to pivot around inside the hand that way.
And again, I simply stay behind my hand. I'm marking time, going at whatever speed my partner's going at.
Okay, so that's our underarm turns to right and left. Following the underarm turns to right and left, we're going to have a cuddle, which is another underarm turn to left. But I'm going to do this instead of 8 counts, I'm going to do it 4 counts. So I'm going to give her an underarm turn to left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and bringing her into my right shoulder here. Notice that I kept the left hand to right hand hold. I did not release that. I kept it down at waist level as I lead her in 1, 2, 3, 4. She comes into cuddle position. From there, the next 4 counts, we're just going to walk around each other. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm doing a little forward walk. She's doing little back walks. And on that 5, 6, 7, 8, we can circle a little bit. Or we can circle quite quickly. Yeah? That's up to you. Now, I'm going to do my underarm turn. I'm going to lead myself to underarm turn. So in order to do that, we're quite locked up here in this position. So I'm going to let go of that right hand to left hand hold at waist level. I'm going to raise this hand, and I'm being very careful not to raise it in her direction, because she's going to think she's about to go under. So I never raise it in her direction if I want to turn myself. I raise it right in front of my face, and then I start walking around under my own hand. 1, 2, turning to my left, 3, 4, and we meet each other, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the whole time we are marking time with our little marches. So that in total looks like this. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in, 1, 2, 3, 4 circling, 5, 6, 7, 8. I go under 1, 2, 3, 4. We find each other, 5, 6, 7, 8.
A note for the follows, again, if you just pay attention to where am I going, I'm paying attention to what's going with his hand. So my partner brings me into cuddle. 1, 2, 3, 4. We walk. 5, 6, 7, 8. This is now where it gets a little nebulous. I'm simply going to mark time. Do I walk anywhere? Do I go anywhere? Well, that depends. Where's my partner taking me? Right now, he's keeping that hand pretty still, so I'm just going to stay put. He could potentially pull me around a little bit more if he wanted to, right? So if you watch this again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He started bringing his hand around quite a bit, so now it was up to me to start moving. So again, I just have to stay behind this hand, wherever this goes. It might mean I move a lot, maybe I move a little, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm keeping my 1, 2, 3, 4, starting with the right fingertip, I will be just fine.
So then we just put the routine together now. Those are all the steps, so we're just going to put them together into a little combination. We're going to start with any kind of merengue basic you want. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did the left turning time step. Now our next figure is going to be the separation. Center part, 1, 2, 3, 4, whichever separation you like. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'm going to do another merengue basic. This time I'll do a chassé, circling to my left. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, any kind of merengue basic you want. Now I'm going to lead the underarm turns to right and left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And lead her the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We will now do a cuddle. So I'm going to finish with a 2-hand hold on that underarm turn to left so that I can bring her to cuddle. 1, 2, 3, 4. We circle around 5, 6, 7, 8. I take myself out. 1, 2, 3, 4. We come back together. 5, 6, 7, 8. To start the routine over from the beginning basic. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that is the 4th and 5th grade routine.